Welcome to Shovel and Shit with Dane Davis, podcast about doing work behind real things. I am wearing and sporting a Dadacorn shirt in honor of my daughters. I have three beautiful daughters, two older, one younger, and they've definitely taught me a lot in my life about how to be a better man and what to think about when it comes to being respectful to women. My mom was a big part of that too growing up, but definitely being a dad changes your perspective even more so, right? So, having daughters on a farm, you know, I've loved and I've been enjoying the challenge of trying to have them stretch themselves to be involved in the farm life and including them in the work that needs to be done around the farm. I don't know if I've been successful. I don't know if they love the farm work, but I've enjoyed having them here, and I think they've enjoyed the animals and being around. Um, I could tell you a story. So when I first bought the farm, the first animal I wanted to buy was a cow. I love to barbecue. Barbecue is my favorite thing in the world. I have a smoker. Smoked brisket is one of my favorite things to cook. I, 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 I discovered brisket after living in Austin, Texas, and had it like every week for 6 months. And I was like fascinated by how to make a brisket because it's not straightforward. You can mess up brisket because it's really tough meat unless you cook it right. Well, so I bought these cows, and a neighbor helped me buy them. He shows up, and he unloads them off the trailer, and these three heifers jump out of the trailer and then run into the field, and they run away. And they were not not real little, but they were young baby cows, and we proceeded to get to know these cows and love on them and brush them. My wife would brush them out like every day. It seemed like my neighbors were like, "Are those show cows?" I'm like, no, those are beef cows. They're like, "Are you sure?" It's like, yes, they're beef cows. Um, Big mistake. I should have bought horses first and then cows. I'm not sure if the result would have been any different, but I would have a better chance of cooking those up for brisket because today, to this date, I've not been able to butcher any of my cows for beef because my wife loves the animals, which is fine, which is fine. That's not the complaint. But the thing with these mother cows, it's been interesting to see their different personalities with their own babies and the interaction they have with their, sisters. And it was quite intriguing to see how they interacted with us even. So we had Momo. Momo is a cow that just, she's a little ornery and she's very protective of her babies. So if you get around her baby, she gives you the look, right? She has the mom look down to a T, and like, I'm not going to mess with you because you're going to do something. Then there was Minnie May, Minnie Moo, and then Millie May. And those other two cows, they were super, super loving and affectionate. And they just come up to you and want to be pet and brushed out. And you could get around their babies without them getting all like up in arms. And kids are like that too. Like everyone has their own personalities and own perspectives, and they have their own needs. But the challenge is trying to nurture them in a way that empowers them to have what they need, right? So some need a little more attention, some need a little more space. But I loved all the cows equally, right? Not just because I was hoping to butcher them. But yeah. Eventually we grew our farm and had more, horses and ponies and goats and chickens. But the cows have always been one of those animals that it's always interesting to learn how to watch their body language and learn what they are feeling by the nonverbal responses because they will tell you just kind of what they're going to do by their body language. And I think that's very applicable to understanding your business. You have to be present and you have to be observing what's going on behind the scenes. If they're getting a little bit more defensive, if they're getting a little bit more lax, or if they're motivated or not. Things are not getting done as quickly. It could be that they're lacking direction, or they're lacking some things that they need to be successful, or that maybe they feel defensive on something that they really care about, and they need to be heard and help to be empowered to accomplish the thing that you hired them to do. Because if you're undermining them and you're always questioning them and not letting them succeed, you'll miss out on the value you have them for to bring value to your business. So, again, I think there's a lot of things to learn that you have to look for those unspoken, verbal, nonverbal communication. And it's got to be done in a way that you can be present to see. It may not be in a meeting. It most likely will not be in a meeting. It's just going to be having to trust those that you have that are in the company that are kind of in the trenches. And then as a founder, you need to be able to go around and just interact and see how the company is, sharing the things that they need to share with you. So I don't know if that helps, but that's been my experience. So watch the cows, because, yeah, you never know. So have a good one. Thanks for joining.